Gates Adams here on behalf of Apex Trader Funding, and I'm here today with Sahil. Sahil is yet another one of Apex's recently first-time payees as a funded trader. Sahil, congratulations, first of all, on this first payout. That's got to be pretty exciting.
Yeah, thank you so much.
You're very
This
welcome. You're
is
very
my
welcome. So let's talk a little bit about kind of how you got here. Now, how long have you actually been trading?
I've been trading for the past 2 years. I started in, I suppose, end of 2021.
Okay.
I was in my second year of college, uh, and I was trading in the Indian markets
Mhm.
for a long time. Almost for 1 year, I traded in the Indian markets, and somewhere it wasn't sitting right with me. I used to make money, lose it. You know how it goes. I
Mhm.
blew a lot of accounts, and I did not have the privilege of having funded accounts. I had to
Right.
fund the capital on my own,
Sure.
and I lost a lot of money during that. Uh, by the end of 2022, I suppose I made most of it back, but I realized that this is not going to work because Indian markets are very volatile. I could say that almost no strategy was working there.
Mhm.
And that is when I got introduced to ICT and its concepts.
Mhm.
I started learning them, and for 6 months, I back tested and paper traded.
Sure.
Yeah, for 6 months, I would say. After which, I was going to start trading Forex,
Mhm.
but in India, it's not regulated. And it's actually illegal to trade Forex, which
Right.
I found out, I think, 3 or 4 days before I was about to
Uh,
open a brokerage account.
yeah, that's good
Uh,
timing.
yeah. And it just messed me up that now I have a skill, I
Mhm.
cannot use it, and I had no clue that prop firms exist.
Mhm.
And it was one of your creators actually. I don't know, it's the Canadian trusted trader or some guy like that.
Okay.
Uh, I forgot his name. I can just check it. He had this Instagram ad running,
Uh-huh.
and I got the ad. I checked it out, and it was eligible for Indians, and that actually saved my trading at that point. So
Okay.
I got my first account, and I blew my first account very quickly, like how it goes,
You're not the
because
only
I had
one.
no idea how to manage my risk.
Right.
And after which I did blow a few accounts, but by that time, I think one of the good things about Apex was the low cost of entry,
Sure.
which as a student was the main thing. I had already spent a lot of money in learning trading, and
Right.
at this point, I was doing internships to fund my trading, so
Mhm.
it was very hard. Uh, that is when I realized I got my first funded account in June. Yeah, in June or July, I suppose. Um, that too, I blew it, uh, and it was all lack of discipline.
Sure.
That was just me not being disciplined.
Mhm.
I knew what I was doing. I had a model which was working,
Mhm.
and one more thing which I implemented was that whatever trade I took on Apex, uh, I used to also trade that on trading you the paper trading one, the model, and I used to
Right.
exit it.
Sure.
So I only got emotional on my Apex account because it was real for me.
Right.
I had paid for it,
Sure.
and yeah, so I saw that on my paper account I was actually making money, but on my Apex I wasn't making money because whenever I used to lose a trade, I used to just try and re-enter the trade or trade over trade. I used to
Right.
get emotional.
Mhm.
I fixed that. I made a list and I keep that notebook always by my side now. Whenever I open my
Uh-huh.
Apex account, that is the first thing which I see. That does the trade meet all my criteria? I
Mhm.
take them off manually and then I enter the trade. It just took me then 3 or 4 trades to get to my first payout.
Oh, wow.
And for once I thought maybe it might be luck. So I did it again and I'm already on my way to get my second payout and I have a question.
Yeah.
So this was like my journey in really short.
That's fantastic. Now that's a lot there, right there to obviously to go through. But I had a couple of questions on that. So you talked about when you first saw the ad for Apex, and you
Yeah.
had been trading now in the Indian markets. You were about to move into the world of Forex, which obviously some challenges there. Um, so when you saw this ad and the idea that a company would be willing to take the financial risk for your trading, what did you immediately think? Was there any skepticism, or did you immediately think, oh, this is it, I'm in?
Okay, first I thought it was a scam.
Mhm.
Because I couldn't believe that some company is willing to give me money to trade without, because I just assumed that I need to make 6% to pass the challenge and I get the money, and that is too easy because
Right.
I could do a million things wrong and still get to 6%. This is where I researched a lot. I went on YouTube. I searched about Apex, and there were a lot of creators who testified that Apex is a real company and they pay out and they have good executions. And one more thing that they use futures, which is the main thing which I wanted, because in Forex I would be forced to trade CFDs,
Right.
and somewhere I wasn't comfortable with CFDs because the slippage, because mainly because of the slippage.
Sure.
Uh, so yeah, that part was really good. That Apex has an entire community on YouTube, and they
It,
post regularly.
it's not
And even
hard to
on Twitter,
find.
yeah, yeah, it's not hard to find. Yeah,
That's fantastic. So when you were first trading in the Indian markets, now what you learned in terms of your strategy and how you traded, were you able to translate that pretty easily into trading futures, or was there like did you have to kind of start over with new strategy and figure things out differently?
yeah. When I traded the Indian market, it was pure price action.
Mhm.
And somewhere when I switched, and I would say it was quite tough because there was some point of me self-doubting myself that if I'm entering this trade, is it correct? Am
Mhm.
I gambling, or is it just an impulsive
Right.
trade? And I could never get to, make it more mechanical.
Mhm.
So when I switched to ICT and his concepts, it allowed me to have a greater insight into my trades. Now I was very sure where to enter, where to exit, where my stop would be. And I think the most important thing is knowing where your stop loss will be.
Mhm.
Because without your stop loss, you will blow your account very quickly.
Yeah.
And the skill, yeah, some of it did transfer. I think major thing was my basics were very strong by the time I
Mhm.
had gotten to Apex, which really helped me. uh, I had realized I could read basic price action, so
Sure.
that when combined with ICT and the ability to trade futures, that really helped me speed up my journey.
Sure. Great, great. Well, now obviously, first payout done, qualified for your second one, ready to set that one in motion. Um, if you found yourself in front of somebody who is just moving into the space now, they've paper traded, they're ready to start actually trading for profits, and they decide that they want to go down this route as a funded trader with Apex. What's the biggest piece of advice that you can give them moving into that space?
The first advice would be pick the $25,000 account. It
Okay.
gives you the highest percentage wise DD,
Hmm.
and be very careful with the trailing drawdown,
Sure.
because somewhere see, for me it does not really matter right now the trailing DD, because uh, I take a very high risk to reward trade sometimes, and at this point I have the experience to know when to cut my trade if it's coming down back.
Sure.
And in evaluation you do not need to necessarily do that.
Mhm.
uh, Take your trade, keep a small target, and do not over leverage. I know that you can pick up to 4 contracts on the
Right.
$25,000 account.
Mhm.
You shouldn't do that unless your stop is very small.
Sure.
Uh,
Or you've built a buffer
so
in your PA,
yeah, yeah,
right?
that is very important.
Sure.
And one more thing which I would say is make use of the sales. You have the 90%, the 80%, the 71% sales, because you need to practice a lot. It
Sure.
is not as simple as, you could be very good at trading your personal account, you could be very good at trading uh, maybe on forex firms,
Mhm.
but futures is different. It
Mhm.
is easier. One thing is for sure, that compared to forex firms, trading futures is a lot easier,
Mhm.
but at the same time you have to be disciplined,
Sure.
because when there is no slippage, when there's less commissions, that
Mhm.
is when you become more undisciplined.
Right.
uh,
I think that's fantastic. And then ultimately, one thing that I've said over and over is any decent strategy is going to be profitable for some traders, and it's not going to be profitable for others. And a lot of that just has to do with meshing with your personality, your risk tolerance, your emotional statuses, your trading, and all these things, all that need to be taken into consideration. But at the end of the day, that success all comes down to that discipline. If you stick to the plan,
Exactly.
you have a much look. If you don't stick to the plan, you're probably not going to be successful. If you stick to the plan, you have
Right.
a high success rate.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
I think that that's one of the biggest hurdles for most traders, especially new traders, as they're getting into the space. And I think that's fantastic advice. So
Yeah.
listen, well,
That is the thing.
Go ahead.
Yeah. I think I agree with the discipline part because I have seen people on YouTube, they live stream and they show that they have been trading basic trend lines. They trade maybe VWAP strategies, which a lot of people are like, no, this does not work. Everything works if you can, be disciplined and stick to it.
Right.
Because end of the day, markets are a game of probabilities. Nothing is, 100% sure that it is going to happen. So
Sure.
you take your profit, then you just shut down your screens and go enjoy your day.
Exactly. I know some people that trade all day, but most of the traders I know trade for an hour or two max.
Right, exactly.
That's pretty much
For
it.
me,
And
it's
that's,
just 2 trades a day.
yeah. And you know what? That's probably more than enough for most people.
Yeah,
Whether that
exactly.
be financially or emotionally, I think it definitely has that that there's a point where it's like time to shut it down and get your head somewhere else and be ready for the next
Yeah.
day. So
Yeah.
awesome. So I sure appreciate you spending some time with me today. This has definitely been a lot of fun. I did not actually realize that we were going to be chatting from halfway across the globe. So what time is it where you are?
It's almost 2 a.m. Yeah, 1:50 a.m.
Almost 2 Well, I appreciate you staying up late to hang out with me and share some of your experience. And I would like to definitely catch back up in a couple months after a few more payouts and just kind of get an update,
Yeah,
see how everything's going along, if that sounds good.
yeah, sure. And
Awesome.
I really thank you, Apex, and you for this opportunity. I never thought I would be, ever getting an interview, and it is really
Well, you know what?
amazing.
This has been a pleasure, and the excitement is very clear on your face. Definitely love to see that. That's what makes it all just so gratifying for all of us, and we love to see that success. So we want to continue to see more success from you and continue to watch things grow. Okay.
Yeah, thank you
Awesome.
so much.
My pleasure. Thank you. Get some rest and look forward to catching up here in a few months. All right. We'll talk to you soon, Sahil.
Yes.
All right.